Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be dissertating and talking about having the part of fortune in the zodiac sign Sagittarius. Now, having the part of fortune in this sign, it could indicate early on in the person's life where perhaps this person was reluctant or apprehensive in voicing his or her opinions or you could say philosophies about things, and there may have been a reluctance to do so, perhaps maybe because perhaps they would be rejected or repudiated by maybe a parent or an older relative. Perhaps maybe they felt that they don't really need to speak on these things. Sagittarius is a sign that's associated with speaking the truth, and often perhaps without tact or diplomacy. And maybe this person also may have been afraid that maybe they'd come across as tactless or overly blunt, or might come across as abrasive, and that could have been something else as well, which might have caused some reluctance. There may have been apathy, perhaps connected, maybe with their learnings. It doesn't necessarily mean the person didn't do well in school, but it could have been something where this person didn't quite have the exuberance and the enthusiasm maybe connected with what they wanted to learn, because they wanted to expand their horizons, and maybe they thought there was something about learning in school that the subjects might have been such where they just really didn't care for them in some cases. Now, later in life, as this person may progress into adulthood, the part of fortune I see is about growth and cultivation, as far as the sign goes that the part of fortune resides in. Now, this person may grow, may perhaps the ebullient, the expansive energy of Sagittarius, and may begin to expand his horizons more in adulthood. And this could even be connected perhaps with higher education and learning perhaps broad subjects in college or university, some kind of high school education. And this doesn't exclude learning at home. It doesn't necessarily have to be in education where they're at a school or even a correspondence school. This could be something where this person becomes like that perpetual scholar that just never ceases learning, wants to keep learning, and enjoys it, and does it with a lot of exuberance and enthusiasm. Now, this could also indicate a person that might benefit, or what could be fortuitous for this person could be perhaps a position connected with the sign Sagittarius. It could be somebody that perhaps may decide to work as a pilot, maybe go into philosophy, be a college professor, could be into religion, philosophy, theology. It could be somebody that becomes interested even in sports and may even benefit somehow from it. And perhaps the outdoors to some degree. It could be a lot of somebody that does foreign traveling, a person that works in foreign affairs, for example. And something, it might be something connected with exploration and adventure, and maybe even being a little bit audacious and taking risks. I forget his name, but the gentleman that walked that tightrope, for example, without having a protective net underneath him. I don't know what his part of fortune is, but I'm just saying it could even be something like that, which could be very risk-taking, though I don't advise anybody to do that, of course, because that's I think it's a little foolhardy. That's going a little overboard. Now, a lot of this can depend on the house placement of the part of fortune in Sagittarius. Now, I believe John Bon Jovi, the legendary singer, he has the part of fortune in Sagittarius in his second house. Now, I'm not sure if he's really into sports or anything like that, but he does a lot of his concerts, I believe, outdoors, and perhaps by bringing that expansive Sagittarius energy and that outdoorsy way maybe into that second house, which is generating income, that's something that might be fortuitous for him, and this is how he perhaps has benefited to some degree. Now, Let's take somebody that has the part of fortune in Sagittarius, let's say in their third house. This could be somebody that may benefit perhaps through some kind of communication where perhaps that showing these expansive, exuberant qualities and doing so and being very optimistic, such as somebody that maybe can motivate others through their communication, through their writing, and putting that exuberance into it. Somebody that might write about things connected with Sagittarian things, such as adventure, such as exploring, and this could be something where even philosophizing, and this perhaps the person may benefit from that. Now, let's say somebody has the part of fortune in Sagittarius in the ninth house. Well, this could be a person that it might exhibit those qualities of attributes of Sagittarius, that ebullience, that expansiveness, that I guess that truth seeking way, and maybe incorporated into ninth house things such as exploring, such as trying to find that truth, and trying to, and also have a lot of enthusiasm and exuberance connected with this. So those are in perhaps even things connected with higher education, and having and perhaps having maybe jocular type conversation even with in-laws, if applicable, if the person does have in-laws, and having perhaps it could be fortuitous for having that relationship with the in-laws, and that could be very beneficial and advantageous to this person. Well, anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for having the part of fortune in Sagittarius in the natal chart. And stay tuned next time, where I'll be dissertating and talking about having the part of fortune in Capricorn in a natal chart. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone. Because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart, and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.